Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are going to be working on the lore for Soulcraft, a NFT game that is initially going to be a hero defense and will eventually transition into a full RTS. If you joined me last time, you may remember some of the lore. We're going to go over that first, so you don't have to remember so much. And then we're going to actually get into creating the map for the world. This is not going to be a one-for-one map. This is a general map, like you might see in the background here of the world. And I don't know. I hope it'll be interesting to see how we do that process, or at least how I do it. So let us go to. Here we are. So, when last we worked on Soulcraft, we came up with the origin story of the universe, which is not necessarily the mythology of the universe. It's more the... Okay, Scale, that's not very nice. These are not game graphics. The actual game graphics are quite a bit nicer. I don't know if I should show the game yet. No, I guess I won't. I'll leave that to the others. We're just working on lore today. So we've got the cold dark start of the universe, consciousness developing, and then effectively creating all life in the universe. And then some evil gods came after them, trying to destroy his creations. The first soul is the initial god, and then these evil gods are the Murata, and they have their individuation here in terms of what their modus operandi is. Death, blood, and ritual sacrifice, and covetousness. We have the world of Invictus sealed away so that the evil gods cannot directly destroy it. I was wondering, why is it that you making the lore, story, and maps while being an advisor, just an advisor? I only have time to be an advisor. An advisor role typically is 5 to 10 hours a month. And that's pretty much what I have time for any individual project. But I will say that this is the project I'm most interested in at the moment in terms of what NFTs are out there and what I'm seeing. So maybe I spend a little extra time on it than I should. But either way, yeah, I'm pretty invested in this particular project, and I'm enjoying creating the lore and stuff. So, I like to work on what I enjoy doing. So, anyways, we have the 4 major races: the Fae, the Elves, the Dwarves, and the Orcs. The Fae were the first ones born and basically seeded the planet with life. The elves were next, and they started cultivating what the Fae had created, trying to get it under control and sort of design a destiny in which they mastered the world. The dwarves came next, sprouting forth from the stone and soil of Invictus, becoming the architects and miners of the world. And then we have the orcs, who just want to destroy stuff, coming from swampy areas, and eventually they find a methodology to do that via the Murata. The Murata cannot influence the world directly, but indirectly they can appear to people and influence their mind and give them advice and things like that. And so they influenced the orcs, led them to the dragons, and when the orcs took over, basically trained the dragons, they were able to do a lot of destruction. But before that happened, the dwarves were able to find Solanite, Solanite being basically the essence of the god that sacrificed itself at the beginning, the first soul. And because of that, they were able to build marvels of technology unlike anything we can even see on Earth. It's like fossil fuels times a million, except without any pollution. It's effectively like harvesting starlight. Let's not get into the physics of that because it's going to get confusing. But basically, non-destructive nuclear energy. Think of it like that. So there's flying castles and things like that. Then the orcs destroy their creations through the dragons. That leads to the apocalypsis because it's a multiplicative effect where the destruction chain reacts through the solenites and basically everything gets destroyed. Yes, unlimited power. And then in the aftermath of that destruction, the dragons eventually leave, and then the elves rise up and take over. And while the story begins with the modern or the present day of Ivan, the main character, is in the peak of elven civilization where they've sort of taken over everything and it's a very authoritarian regime. We are actually going back in time in the timeline, which we'll go to here, to peak civilization. So this is where the majority of the action will happen, where the dwarves are at the peak of technology. We can have flying castles and wondrous machines and weaponry, and we can have, you know, dwarves being cool. So Ivan returns to warn his people about the dragons. They have to tame them first. So he's going to try and change history. This is his one opportunity. Any questions so far? I know that's a lot. If not, we're going to focus on this time period here, the year 2000 of Invictus. I'm actually drinking a nice ginger beer, which I recommend. We did that. We did this. We're not going to worry about the order of things and the time periods in between. Here's where the elves and the fae take over, and here's peak civilization. This is the one we're focusing on, peak civilization. Will this be on the exam? Yes, it will. These questions will pop up periodically as you're mining Solenite, and if you don't answer them correctly, your Solenite will go to me. I'm just kidding. That will definitely not happen. All right. So during peak civilization, we're going to sort of flesh out what these races were like. Which I think I might... yeah, that's... no one cares. I think we might start with the dwarves at peak civilization. So, what were dwarves like? Soulcraft is an NFT game. If you hate NFTs, you still might like the game because there will be a free-to-play element. And the purchasing of power will be limited in some ways. Ultimately, it'd be better to get in now, of course, but the primary thing here is that it will eventually be an RTS. For the moment, for initial launch, it will be a hero defense game, similar to what you might see in a Warcraft 3 map, which is why I'm advising for the project and pretty excited about it. How you guys doing? None of this is important. Okay. Let's see. Would you guys like some music? I think I need some music. Ignore that. That's my dwarf. I bought a dwarf yesterday. They're going for 2 soul. If you just want to grab one to see what's going on and to have something to play the game with. I'm going to put on some lo-fi hip-hop. I'd rather do like fantasy music, but I think there's copyright problems if I do that. Whereas I think the lo-fi... Let's keep that down here. Yikes. All right. We got our lo-fi hip-hop here. Whew. You've never seen a real NFT project only scam stuff. There are a shit ton of scams, and it's been super frustrating. I've worked with, I want to say 12 of them now. Shit. I keep a list, but I don't want to pop it up and like accidentally out anyone. But basically, a couple of them definitely were scams or rug pulls of some sort. They did pay me, but their motives were clear. The main races are the Fae. Think of like fairies and like maybe dryads and things. The elves. Think of kind of like Lord of the Ring elves, but actually darker and more mysterious and authoritarian. Sort of like 1984 meets the elves. Or like a rogues guild kind of styled elves. Then we have the dwarves, who are kind of the traditional dwarves, but like super underground mining focused, and like they're kind of architects and they like to build stuff, and they sort of take over during this era. And then orcs, kind of traditional, actually not Tolkien orcs. They're more not exactly Warcrafty, but sort of a mix in between. Like they're not like born yesterday to be an army, but they're definitely all about the warrior kind of class. So maybe like Viking orcs would be, yeah, kind of like Vikinger orcs. What is Soulcraft and why do kids crave it? Because it's got what kids need. No, I'm kidding. Only adults should be involved in this. How the dwarfs NFTs will be implemented into the gameplay. So the dwarves are miners. So during gameplay, they will mine the Solanite for you, and your dwarf's stats will be the stats of your dwarf will influence what they're mining, and you'll have to protect them with your hero while you're doing that. Whether or not there'll be a hero NFT or not, I'm not sure. I think for now it's not an NFT. It's basically that's the free-to-play element that you level up. The game is still being designed. It's still going through some iterations, but because of the nature of NFTs, there's a rush, a big rush to get everything done. I'm trying to slow it down a little bit so that no big mistakes are made. But obviously the people who have the NFTs are super enthused to see anything at all. Hence why this stream is starting. I was going to start with the dwarves. Primarily egalitarian society. The dwarves value achievement and creation above all other things. Thus, those who create the largest fortresses, the most complex machinery, the most amazing inventions are held above all others. Amongst the... Okay, let's go. The life cycle of the dwarves primarily revolves around a youth spent mining the materials and learning the crafts that will allow them to succeed later in life at whatever they choose to create. By their 30th year of life, they are expected to begin their great work. This can be anything so long as it furthers dwarven culture and technology. By this point in the year 2000 of Invictus, dwarves have mastered the globe. They not only have... Can you guys read this? Dark Gothic race? Definitely elves. They not only have achieved aerial land masses, floating castles, and suits of reflective... No, that's stupid. What would be... I want to say mecha, but I don't want to say mecha. How would I do this? Suits of enhanced strength and endurance that allow them any thoughts of war against them. But in their time, they have achieved, they have come close to reaching the stars. Something Murata would unfortunately never allow. Alright, that's a pretty good introduction to the dwarves, I would say. You're illiterate? No, you're not. You're reading right now. You can't possibly be illiterate if you're in a chat reading stuff. Why do you feel bad if English is not your native language? You should feel bad. You speak 2 languages already. I should feel bad because I don't speak any other language than English. Oh. Which is really quite pathetic since I haven't lived in an English-speaking country in like 12 years. Remember, questions are always welcome. All right. Let's go up here to the Fae. Give them a brief introduction. The Fae primarily consist of the insane fairies and the mute dryads. Well, the fairies are the spreaders of seeds and life in general. The dryads attempt to help spread the forests and protect the creations of the Fae from destruction and interference by the other races. Fairies have an unknowable mind and utilize their magic to play tricks on unsuspecting dwarves who venture too close to their territories. The dryads, on the other hand, have no interest in allowing outsiders into their realms, and many an orc and dwarf has fallen to their grasping roots as they attempt to chop down trees for their creations. So generally, society structures, there'd be like, this will be when we go to the RTS components. We're not going to worry too much about this. I'm just doing a general for the moment because I don't need to define these too much. I do kind of need a societal structure for them, but Fae move freely. Is great work a constant? Might I suggest something like a carver's path? Yeah, okay. Well, I like what you're saying, but let me see if there's a better. I want to say something along the lines of architect. So it's like design though. Engineer, but you see we don't want to get it to be too technical. Maybe carver is correct. Maker. Oh, I like maker. What do you think about maker? Maker's path. Elves sound like your Elder Scrolls high elves. What's wrong with that? I'm going to go with Maker's Path. I like that. Yep, we're not there yet. Maker's Path. That's cool. Create your own totally unique custom race. I would. But not right now. Maybe later. For now, I just want to stick to the major four because I'm sort of basing it on my RTS roots with Warcraft 3. So I want to have 4 major races because I know that I can handle that. And then later on, we can add more. But we have to get a game done, you know? So if you make me add a race now and people are like, oh, where's that race that you did over here? Could be problematic later. On the other hand, if I don't add them in now when I'm making the map, it could get very cluttered. But what I'm going to try to do is I'll do a general layout of most of the map, and then there can be dark regions where we're not worried about it yet, and then we'll get back to them later. So, Fae move freely about the lands. They have no care for artificial borders on maps. They wouldn't recognize a territory even if they were sitting in the king's throne room. Most tolerate their presence because they are non-confrontational, though many have become frustrated by their pranks and use of fairy magic at inopportune times. Fae generally cluster in fairy rings deep in the darkest parts of forests, where they can freely dance and use their magic to put on shows for each other and see who can come up with the craziest stories. Dryads generally keep to the forest realm and do not stray into civilization. Most people have never seen a dryad, for they keep camouflaged in amongst trees, brush. But woe to those who attempt to carve from their wood, for they will likely not live to see the next day. Good enough for now. Structures we'll get to later. Society, good. Elves, okay. Here's what I wrote last time. So do a general. That's society. Here we go. Okay, so this is 2000, so they're not quite an authoritarian ruling class at this point. More than WT? Yeah, lots to get done. Everybody loves elves. Yeah, there's lots of long-term plans for Soulcraft. I have to work the next 4 days after today. You don't have to work every day? Lucky. You're being live streamed, by the way. Okay, just warning them, though that might encourage them to do stuff. Hopefully not. Okay. They look down upon the Fae because they behave erratically and have no care for the order. Yeah, okay. So, okay, this is still true. So we can keep this here. Except it's not an authoritarian ruling class. The elves act as an authoritarian figure, attempting to keep the other races in line with their beliefs about how the world must be shaped. They look down upon the Fae because they act erratically and have no care or order behind the things they create. The elves see themselves as having to cultivate and guide the lesser races, and so covertly, not unlike a covert ops organization, and do so covertly. Okay. They're not just haughty and condescending, they're actively guiding other life forms in their evolutionary tracks to be subservient to them. But the insane Fae, the stubborn dwarves, and the volatile orcs won't listen or obey, so they have to use covert agents and manipulative agendas to keep them on track. I think that's all we need. And okay, I want to keep this point here. There are rumors in the archives of the dwarves' history, Dwarven, that suggest the elves may have allowed the orcs to obtain the dragons, knowing the impact it would have. So this is something we'll follow up on at some point. All right, Fae, elves, dwarves, general. That's societal. It's good enough. Orcs. General. That's right. I'm on Twitch. Are goblins going to be in the game? Potentially. What kind of biomes does your fantasy world have, and does it have more seas or land, and is the world bigger than our planet? Is it flat? It is not flat. Working for fiat for the next 4 days. You poor bastard. They don't pay you in crypto? God damn it. Volcanic, forest, desert, and ice. That's right. Those are the 4 biomes that were sold in the land auction. There will be more biomes than that in the future. And there will be some like swampy areas and things like that. And other fun stuff. Hey, the clap. What is that icon? It's like a Pegasus? That's kind of cool. All right. Let's do the orcs. So, orcs are a warrior caste society. They favor those who can win in combat above all others. Beyond that, they have no societal markers, and those who are severely wounded in combat are venerated and looked to for guidance so that others may avoid their mistakes. Orcs wish only to dominate the world and take everything within their sight for themselves. This is not for greed, but for the purposes of strengthening their world against invaders, for they see the other races as lacking the grit and determination to win at war. There, see, they're not evil. They're just trying to take over for, you know, helping you guys. We're just going to dominate everything because, you know, if we can beat you, you're too weak, and therefore we should be in charge. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Because I really want to get to the map. Alright, how many of you are familiar with Wonderdraft? This is Wonderdraft. Ew. There we go. There we go. So, let's generate some land. Nope. A little more rough. Nope. Nope. Let's see here. So during this era, I kind of want some floating land masses and stuff. We'll see how I can pull that off. But for now, I just want a general layout. We're gonna have to get advanced here, I think. Wait. Oh, interesting. So I think with a map like this, it'll give us a lot of room for expansion later. 16 lands listed. Who the hell listed lands? They better be for sale for 100,000 soul each. Is the planet made out of cheese? No. Are you saying the plural of orcs is orc? So whether there's 1 or 100, it's always just orc? I don't think I agree with that. I don't agree with that. It's kind of an isthmus kind of thing. So we've got implied lands over here. We could do the whole gamut of ice, forest, desert, ice. Not feeling that one. Oh, this is a little bit better. Here we go. This is more workable, I think. So what I want is to have a version where the land masses are all connected, and then in the future, after the destruction of the dragons, we're gonna have like lost cities and things like that, because some of the land masses are actually above, like in the air. I'm liking this right here. We've got a lake and some stuff here going on. I think this is interesting enough. What do you guys think? I'm going to start with this and see how it goes. So, most important thing is to immediately save. Soulcraft. World map. 2000-001. And save. Okay. Now, let's do some painting. So we're going to have ice up here. These will be icy regions. And then somewhat down here. I'm going to go for a standard sort of Earth-like atmosphere. And a little bit of the snow leads up here. We're going to need a better brush. I'm going to go with this. There we go. It's nice to give it some rough edging. I'm imagining demarcator, so it's like the equator would be around here, but since it's a round globe, there's some curve to it, so I have to sort of think about that. This will be a frozen area here. It's going to bleed up into this region and then sort of stop dead around there. Since we've got the Viking or orcs, maybe they're in the icy areas too. Maybe they've got ice and swamp. And do some snow. Okay. And then do some desert region here. So this is going to bleed into the desert to the left, to the west. So we'll expect more desert regions in that area. And since we've got a body of water here, there'll be some sort of desert or mountainous area here. So let me just set that up a little bit. Some desert rock down the middle. We're gonna put some mountains in a second. And we want a jungle region somewhere here. This is where the Fae originate from. I'm not sure if jungle is correct, but like jungle and forest. And wetland down here. Leading into the snow. Small islands for sea navy lore. You like it when there's more land than sea but lakes. Yeah, I think that works well too. I'm just varying up some of this. It's not going to matter too much. I'm going to be overlaying a bunch of stuff soon. You'll see. These will be forest regions for the most part, with some naval stuff off the sides. Okay. And then we want to have a savanna style thing going on over here. Okay. Volcanic. This will be the volcanic region. So I'm going to add a black texture. And we'll get to that when I start laying down symbols. So first, let's pick out the primary kingdoms. So the elves. What would the elves want to be situated? They want to be in the middle of everything, but they also want to have mastery of the coast and defensible locations. So this makes the most sense to me for an elven city. Are these too big? I think here. I think that works. Yeah, that'll be fine. Right there. Thank you. Okay. Wait, what's the control command? What's that one? How do I go left, right? Can I not? Shit. Yeah, we'll add some islands out here later on, but they're not too important for this part. Let's see. So the orcs, I want them down south. Why can't I scroll up and down? Shit. Oh, it's the middle mouse. I always forget that. Okay. So let's see. I'm thinking our orcish friends capital, which will be... Maybe none of these are really appropriate for an orcish capital. Let's see if I've got a better symbol. They kind of fancy themselves gladiators. Would this be a suitable... Can you imagine them building a Colosseum? Yeah, I'm going to go with this. So where would the orcs be? Well, they have to be near a mountainous region. So we're going to have some mountains that are coming through here. Oh, this is the volcano region, so maybe that's not the best place for them. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Savanna orcs. Swamp orcs. Snow orcs. Can I get a vote? Yeah, there will be multiple kingdoms for each race. This, guys, calm down. We're just starting with the very, very basics. So we're sort of creating an origin for each race because they had to come from somewhere, right? And then gradually we'll add more and more details. So don't think that anything here is like, I'm plopping down one orc kingdom and that is it. That's just... You have to start somewhere. Southeast. That's what I'm thinking too, but keep in mind this is going to be a volcanic region, but maybe that makes sense for the orcs. And they too would want a defensible location, which this would sort of present. Cool. Next up, we want the Fae. Now the Fae would probably have some sort of giant tree rather than like a village kind of thing. I'm not seeing a good... Oh, you know what? That's because they're separate. What looks like a great tree? This guy right here. Yeah. Maybe not that one. Maybe this one. This one? This one? The great tree. They'd be somewhere near the water, I would think. I don't like that tree. No. No. Yes. This one. So that's the Fae, and then the dwarves are going to be in a mountainous region. So let's look at the mountains real quick. I want to get some mountain action going on. I'm setting this up for when I do the volcano. It's a little weird. I want to do some waterfall stuff over here. Let's set this up. Okay. And a little bit of mountains growing from this area. We'll recolor them in a second. Orc version of Dark Hammer Dwarfs would be cool. Yeah. You'll see as I layer things in, it'll be. By the time we get to the end, the first stuff that I laid down won't even be it won't make sense. I like to put a little one or two of these in the water. But I need to paint that one. And some desert scrub stuff. There's some hills. Could do like this. Those don't work. Something like this? No. like sand dunes to you? That'll work. We're not doing much over in this region anyways, so it's more to block it off than anything else. Okay. Back to trees. I need a general forest tree. I think it's going to be this one, but I can also do a fancy one. We have to get real small. Like this is sort of a Shangri-La area, so we're going to put it down like this. Actually, I want to fill that in with water, but I do have a couple trees amongst the mountains. Not that one. And then this whole thing's going to be crazy with brush trees. Because this is like the capital for the Fae. The Fae are all about unrestricted growth, so they're going to have all sorts of crazy stuff going on. Switching to a pine. Ooh, those are tiny. Scale those up. I'll be recoloring this in a minute, so don't worry too much about how they don't fit together at all. They will. Trust me. I want to have main roads going through most of the kingdoms, because even if the Fae don't give a shit about it, the elves do, so they're going to have those and maintain them and cultivate. They would literally cultivate the land to make that happen. So trees are going to continue on this side, and then it gets up into a desert on this end, but then the forest will continue here. So bigger. The Elven Kingdom is going to be super refined, so it's I kind of want to have copses of trees as opposed to that follow the roads. So I want to have copses of trees as opposed to uncontrolled growth like we have here, where they're just crazy everywhere. These are more like cultivated along paths and things like that, and used as defensive structures, but with openings. Let's go to the land. I want to draw some paths now that I've got a better idea of where everyone is. So let's see. What would be a good road? Maybe I make my own. Yellow brick road? No, it's gonna be weird. I want like a cultivated stone, like a gray, almost. Like a gray yellow. Let's try this one. Does that work? Maybe I just stick with like a brown, but that's like a desert sand. That's fine. It's fine. I'm overthinking it for sure. Okay. Though I would think that they would have stone paths. So the Elven Kingdom would have inroads to everywhere. I didn't place the dwarves, did I? This is going to be the dwarves here. So we've got the four kingdoms all sort of around each other. The dwarves are in the center point. They'll be on both sides because they'll have mined through the mountains. Let me put down something for them before I forget. Dwarves would be definitely like a fortress type situation. So this will be like the Dwarven Kingdom here. We're going to nest it in the mountains, and then we're going to reverse it. What's the key? What's the key to reverse? Shit, that's not it. Oh. Symbols. I want this on the other side but reversed. I know there's a key to reverse it, but I don't know what it's... What is it? L? No. Fuck. It's been a while since I've done this, at least 6 months. So I forgot all the hotkeys. And I don't think they list them anywhere is the problem. So you kind of have to look it up. All right, let's just look it up. Wonder Draft hotkeys. Reddit to the rescue. By the way, if you guys are interested in what I'm doing here with the map and you want to try it for yourself, Wonder Draft is a very cheap program. You can get it on Humble. It's Jesus fuck. What? Okay. Wait. Okay, I know I bought it on Humble, so I don't know what's going on, but okay, here it is. I think it's $20. Okay, it's $30, but I got it for $10 because it was on sale at the time. But yeah, if you're interested in trying what I'm doing here and making your own maps, I definitely recommend Wonder Draft. It does crash on occasion, which we'll probably run into. Is the cheese made out of a planet? What are you even asking me? No. Mirror symbol, Alt. It's the Alt key. God damn. We should keep that up somewhere where I can see it at all times. Where'd it go? Here it is. There. Now I will never forget. Okay, so it's Alt. Wait, Alt mouse wheel? Cycle river and okay. Oh, that's right. Reverse, raise, lower. Mirror symbol, Alt. Alright, I got what I need. Excuse me. And here we go. Bop. We're gonna have to get rid of those trees first. Get out. There we go. The Dwarven Kingdom. Back to laying land bridge. Roads. Still not super keen on this road. Should I have just used rock? No, it's not right either. I want like a gray, but a gray will look like snow. What is a good snow color? I'm gonna look it up. Stone or cobblestone color code. ADA 7A9. 173, 173, 167, 169. Really? Okay. Oh, yeah. Wait. Hello? Okay. Okay. Not sure about it. I'll deal with it. I think it makes sense for the main roads, and then would the dwarves even build a road to the Fae? Something tells me they would just to get to the forest, but I think maybe it ends there and then it branches off and they go and they'll have some sort of defensive structure here on the lake, and then they're gonna have a road up to here, at which point it's sort of like a dirt road past that point, and the orcs have that's their connection to civilization. Dwarf Goblin Wars. I don't even have goblins yet. Dwarves would need to trade for foodstuffs. Yeah, I suppose they would trade with the elves and the fae, and there might be other lesser races that we're just not getting into yet. But we'll flesh out more of that later, because there's definitely going to be some sort of civilization up here. And... Oops. Oh, I hate when that. Yeah, it does that. Because there's going to be other villages and towns and things like that. All right, where are we at? We're gonna forestify a little bit here. Yeah. There we go. I'm gonna turn into brush down there. Smooth this out a little bit. I want to sandify the coast a little. Not too much. Just enough to imply beaches. And we need these to be mountains. There we go. There we go. I feel a bit like Bob Ross at the moment. Making some happy little mountains out in the dwarven towns. There we go. How we doing? Let's do the volcanoes. I'm feeling volcano-y. And I've already got the brown out, so. More mountains, please. What's going to serve as our... We're going to go with that. These are going to bleed out. Sort of like a spiral arm. It's good to mix up a couple different types of mountains, just so it doesn't look uniform. It'll get better with the black in a minute. I'll show you. Are these going to meet up? Yeah, probably would. Okay, there we go. That'll be like a sulfur lake. I'm just gonna meet up over here. Mix them up a little bit. And bring these spiky ones in. Oh no, they look shitty. Those do not go well together at all. I'm not a big fan of these at all, actually. Maybe I'll get rid of them. Let's just wipe them off. I don't want to put too many of them down. There we go. And you want the biggest ones down near the bottom, just to sort of imply that there's mountainous stuff going on over here. This is also going to be where the dragons come from. Let me think here. Yeah, that's good. Back to paint. Secret Dwarf Colony Island. This software is called Wonderdraft, and I recommend it highly to aspiring lore creators because it's an extremely useful and easy to learn tool. And let me just link it to you guys if you want to buy it. I have no connection to them whatsoever. I do not get any money for you purchasing it from them at all. This is purely just a tool that I use for design and lore creation, and I like it so much that I recommend it. So if you wanted to give it a go, please do. All right, so we're gonna spread the dark mountains here, and then we'll transition to white. And there we go. I want to do some of this sort of step texture for the coastline and bleeding into the mountains a little bit. Towards the edges where it gets sandy, but only on the sort of top area. And then, oops, a little too much, we're going to darken the middle and around here, because we're doing magma. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Can someone link me the... Never mind, I'll find it. I wanted to look at the volcano lands just to make sure I'm not going totally crazy here. Magic Eden, Soulcraft. Sorry, here. Soulcraft. Land parcels. To see a volcano land. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, yeah. I'm not going crazy. That's the only one. Oh, these are only the listed ones, huh? I've never used Incarnate. I'm not familiar. Let me look real quick. Oh, is this an online tool? Oh. They look very similar. Is Incarnate, is these by the same people? Feck. Oh, you need to use it. Okay, so it's online only. I guess that's the difference. It is free though. That's hard to beat. I would say I like Wonderdraft simply because I can use it offline. And I've never used this, but the interface is very similar. So I would not be surprised if it's from the same people. They're marketing it as a D&D tool. Oh, I see why. Nice. Very nice. Can't argue with the end products there. But since I've never used it, I can't really say too much. Liquid hot magma. You can check all items on the left above the filters. Oh, on Magic Eden. Right. All items. Oh, lava, lava, lava. Oh, here's one. The joy. Pet Society? What the F? Does every Solana project have to work frickin' soul into the name? Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's like a dark black gray. Like obsidian, kind of, almost. That's what I was going for, so at least I'm on the right track. To get dark gray. What else we got? Ooh, very bright red and orange. I'll have to bring those colors in. Let's add those. A bright orangish. Orangish. Bright orangish. Somewhere closer to red though. There we go. No? There we go. Okay. Not sure about that one. Actually, we've already got the stone, so I'm good with that. Hello, the Philippines. I'm in Thailand, by the way, and I do intend to visit the Philippines at some point in the future, so that'll be fun. Gray up some of these outer ones to imply ash. It also blends nicer into the snow, so I think that works. How am I going to work in this orange color though? Let's see. Oh, interesting. Oh, nice. Not quite what I was hoping for there. Ah, for fuck's sake. Hello? Huh? You're gonna die? Okay. I'm literally live streaming. I told you that. Okay. Let me see if I can get someone to help with the baby. I've got 2 kids here who never sleep. Kids. Can't live with them. Can't make them do anything that you want them to. Is this orange getting a little weird? I think it's getting a little bit weird. Okay, I think that's okay. Or is it too much? Maybe if I bring the red up a little bit as well. I think they go well together, but individually they kind of look goofy. Or am I making it worse? Maybe I'm making it worse. I need Vanky Warcraft is popular worldwide, not surprising. Should have named it Soulcraft, make people think it was a game about a nifty shoe gobbler. Sure. I want to have a second volcano in the snow region, so I'm going to do that here. Oops, too dark. A little bit too much. There we go. That's better. Some gray. Ash and gray. Just a little bigger. Alright, we've got our volcanic lands. It's not quite... It needs a little bit of something here around the edges. Just a little bit of trees and stuff, just to vary it up. But I don't want to muddy it too much, because this is supposed to be ashen volcano lands. Alright, let's look at the orcs. The Philippines are crazy about Warcraft 3? I didn't know that. Why? It's literally on every single PC. Why? Like, it's an ancient game. Alright, why? Are you saying Reforged, or are you saying like the original Warcraft? Smooth out this kind of forest stuff. It needs a little bit of breaking up around the edges here. This should be a forest region per minute. Yeah. I think this would be, yeah. This is not going to be a sandy beach. This is going to be like a forest that goes up to the edges. This whole region is. Got snow here. God, I hate those. I gotta get rid of those. I can't stand seeing them. These are just the worst. The worst mountains. It works okay as like an individual one, like off to the side, and like as a kind of like an iceberg kind of thing. It just doesn't work at all as like a mountain region. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. Sorry, just caught some action on my outside cams. Nothing. Super cursed Darkland would be cool. It would add more mystery to the world. We can do that. The original Warcraft 3, everyone has a copy of the game. Every internet cafe, every home PC, even in the workplace computers. That's amazing. So if I go to the Philippines, like wearing my Blizzard jacket, will I be like given free stuff, and like people will be inviting me to beer halls and stuff? Is that what would happen if I went to the Philippines right now? I heard you guys were having some problems with the guy in charge. So not sure now's a good time to visit. Let's see here. Get some brown into these mountains, just to have a little transition here between these. You can have green ones here. I want to forestify all this stuff. Smooth this out a little bit more. Darker green works better than the lighter green, but we'll go lighter green here. And the lower regions will be more of a forest stuff here. And maybe this forest kind of follows this road, and then it goes into this Sahara style stuff. Makes sense. Smooth a bit more here, catch up to the road. And then I wanted to have this will be where the elves go to mine. So we're going to put a mining symbol down. But they don't mine, they like tap. They tap it, but they do have to get to it, which means they have to go into the earth. Maybe they found some way to use vines to grow into the earth so that they're not actually like mining their Oh, there that is. I wanted to put this here. You want the bubbly bit to touch the edge of the water there. Perfect. Anyway, so we'll do this. No, maybe this one makes more sense. No, it's the wrong way. It's impossible to do back view, is it? Yeah, it is. No. too big. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I guess that's the problem with these sorts of views on a map. Ugh. Okay. Here's a trick. Grab that, you just give it a higher value and we'll go on top. We'll have to recolor it. I want... Dope. Dope. And I need the... What did we use for that road? I mean, the elves are gonna definitely... Yeah, there we go. I get a few oh my god looks. What does that mean? Soulcraft is a new game. It's an NFT game, and I understand that that's something that a lot of people don't like. It will be free to play though. It's a hero defense initially. That will be the launch, and then it will eventually become a full-on RTS. So I'm helping them out because I like it. I like what they're doing, and they're not liars, which is a big thing for me. I hate liars so much. Encountered a lot of liars in my life. They're the worst. I like the sand on the edges. Kind of want to double down on that. That is not sand. Maybe it's better though. Kind of blends with, yeah. I'm getting too much into the nitty gritty here. Unnecessarily. All right. Back to symbols. Gonna double down on some of these trees just to have some variation with larger ones. These are gonna blend into the forest a bit. And as they get closer to the Fey region, they're gonna be bigger. It just makes sense. But these are mostly mountainous trees. Everything grows bigger around the Fey's kingdom. Definitely want to have some here. There we go. Now let's think about what sort of structures the elves are going to build. So they're going to have some fortresses out by the sea. They're going to defend their land over here. I'll have to fix that. You can only imagine after working with Blizzard and all. There's a long involved story there. It's covered in my Ask Dave Anything series about what it was like to work there and how it's not as much fun as you might think. This will have to be some sort of crazy jungle. Grass. No. This isn't working at all. There we go. Sort of have to decide where this sort of desert thing happens. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It could go into stone. That does make sense. And then sort of a sandy desert region a little bit. We need some dunes. I think that's what's going to help. Some sandy dunes. A little hill dwarf action, maybe. These are more. This is what I was looking for earlier. There we go. It goes back up into some mountainous area of terrain. Get some scrub brush over here. Cacti. Oh, I haven't saved in a while. Got some savanna plants. We don't have a savanna biome though. That's something to think about in the future, I suppose. So, let's outlay some dwarven forts as well. And some villages and towns. Let's see here. Boop, 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 boop. I'm not sure I like the ones that you can color in. Maybe I should just use the proper ones. Also, I'm not sure that's what an elven sort of building would look like. I guess it would be more along the lines of these sort of more structured houses. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming along. It takes a while, you know? When you first start laying it out, everyone's like, that doesn't look like anything. Yeah, of course not. You gotta see it in your head a little bit first and then flesh it out. I like the idea of the elves having a lot of these like tall towers that they put in different places so that they can survey. Maybe they have one over here. Observation towers. Watching the Dwarven Kingdom. Watching the orcs. Making sure they don't come up. Maybe they have a secret one over here somewhere. A secret lair. Not a kingdom though. It'd be a fort. Hidden. Hidden. Let's see here. I like the idea of the dwarves having little mountain towns made of forts, castles. We have to do a floating land somewhere. Yeah, like mage towers. Goofy. I'll do some farmland too. Elves would definitely be the farmers of the races. How could the elves build towers near the territories of other races without the other races trying to break them down? Because they trust the elves. They're very covert about this sort of stuff. Oh, we're just setting up a regional defense in case of, you know, whatever bullshit dwarf excuse the elves would think that they could get away with. In terms of down here, though, I don't think the dwarves, the orcs would be able to stop them from building. There's going to be more forests and stuff, so they just wouldn't even know until it was too late. Oh, you know what I haven't done much of? There is the... We should do something perched. This might be a good place to have something like up on a ridge. You know what I mean? So the reason that the orcs wouldn't be able to do anything about it is because it's already... it's up on a hill. Too difficult. Too difficult to get there. Too easily defended. That one's not great. The orcs can try, but the elves have stealth. And the elves build quickly. If there's humans, make them look like a goblin race, stupid and silly. Well, so the idea is that after the destruction of all the Solanite, that's when the human races sort of started to appear, and in essence it was the draining of magic from the land. So basically elves and orcs and stuff started transforming into humans, I guess, though I haven't cleared up that. We haven't cleared up what that is. Designer Dave, do you do these level design streams often? I'm kind of liking these. Not too often. I've done one for Soulcraft before. I did the initial lore creation, though I haven't done. I've never done map creation on live stream. This is sort of like an idea of something that I could do for Soulcraft. I'd happily do it again, but I need a world to be working on, or it's kind of like an exercise in. I mean, it's okay. I guess I could. You know what? I like the idea of this being like on a ridge. If I can find a good one. There we go. Yeah. Humans are Nemenorians? I don't know what a Nemenorian is. Have you ever thought about making Warcraft 3 map live? I've been asked to do that a number of times. The reason I haven't done it is because no one's paying me to. Which I know that's a little bit cynical, I suppose, but it's just sort of the truth. Is like, if I'm being paid to do something, if I'm doing design, I feel like I should be being paid to do it, or I'm doing it for the purpose of teaching. And teaching someone how to make a Warcraft 3 map is not really conducive to getting someone into the game industry right now, which is just a hard truth, you know. So if I thought like I would do it, like if I thought Blizzard would hire someone if they had like really good map skills, but there's already like a million people who are probably better than me at making Warcraft 3 maps now, just because they've been doing it for, you know, 15, 20 years. Yeah, for almost 20 years. Like, I know kids who grew up on Warcraft 3 who have been making maps for long as I've been in the game industry, and to have that much time devoted to one tool is admirable, but also kind of painful in that I feel like they've missed out on like learning a real tool that they could get them a job. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. As long as it's a hobby, it's fine. Do I like this? Do I like what I'm doing with this road? Kind of outlining it. Not sure this is working. No, it's not doing what I think it should. Screw that. I actually don't mind it, but it needs to be smaller. Okay, that's working. Numenorians, the men that lived on the island of Numenor, a gift from the Valar of Tolkien's Middle Earth. It was sunk beneath the waves for their defiance of the ban of the Valar. No, it's not like that at all. as far as we've discussed so far, which is not much, so this will probably change. It's simply that as the magic drained from the world after the apocalypsis caused by the orcs, it was simply that the fantasy races faded into basically being humans. Which is interesting. Makes sense a little bit. It's always good to put a little decoloration around your villages, just to look so it looks lived in, you know? Like there would be paths going from houses and stuff. This guy would go to the lake to get water. There might be a path here up to this mansion. And then there's the major fort would have its own path. We'd probably have like a street, actually. Maybe it comes out of the back of the kingdom. Goes by this like it's a major town. One more bigger. And past the mansion to the fort. It's a little goofy, the gray. It's okay though. I want to trim it back with a little bit of sand road kind of situation. Would brown work better? Nope. Looks like shit. I need a better brown. Somewhere between brown and gray. Let's try this. Nope, still looks like shit. Alright, I'll just stick to the sand. Or should I go shrub? A little bit of green in there. It doesn't seem to matter. Alright, whatever. Hating it. Hate it all. Hate it all. Alright. We're gonna airbrush it out a little bit. Okay. I'll sit here all day trying to fix that. The races in Soulcraft are the Fae, the Elves, the Orcs, and the Dwarves. Those are the four major races. I wrote a little bit of their racial lore behind them earlier. So when the live stream is over, maybe we'll edit it and then post it with all the highlights, and then like a sped up version of the map creation process. Because no one's gonna sit there watching me paint every. Well, actually, you guys are doing that, so I guess I shouldn't say that. Restream says I've received 100 messages, so like that's exciting, I guess. Let's see if we can touch this up at all. Oh, that helps. That helps a lot, actually. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, okay. Ugh. Ah. My hands are not as steady as they used to be. It was more. You were more talking about the times when Numenor fell. Numenorans were half elves, but as the time goes on, the elven blood got weaker and weaker. The last Numenorian is Aragorn from the film. Oh, oh, they're half elves. Oh, is that why he's so long lived? Okay, now it all makes sense. See, I didn't know that. Vampires? What? What am I seeing here? Is this you designing lore around an upcoming PC game called Soulcraft, or is this from Pen and Paper Versus? This is for a actual game that has a playable early alpha that sometimes they show. At some point I'll play it. But yeah, I'm working on the lore for them. So that's what this stream is for. And at the same time, I'm sort of quasi-teaching this Wonder Draft program, or at least showing what it can do. Not because I'm not sponsored. I am paid by Soulcraft, just to be clear. That I'm paid by them. But I have no connection to Wonder Draft, but I recommend it as a map making program. And Soulcraft, I think the plan. When is the plan to have playable for everyone? I want to say it's like within the next 3 months. I'd have to look at the roadmap. I'm not 100% on that. You said those were the major races. Are humans just a minor race, or are they not in the game? There's no plan for humans at this point in the history. I think in the year 2000, the peak of the Dwarven civilization, the humans are like non-existent, basically. But that's something we can discuss. That's something we need to discuss internally in terms of like, what is our plan for the humans, and like, are they a race that's currently doing stuff or not, or because I have my sort of like intuition on what I think they should be doing and what's going on with them, and my concept for them is that they're basically non-existent until the destruction of Solanite, and basically they're what happens to the other races when they lose the magic of the world, when the magic fades. When the magic fades. That should be a song. Is that a song? When the magic fades? God, I wish my hands were like steady when I was younger. Used to be able to trace a line real easy. Oh well, whatever. Not too important. Save. Save constantly. This program does crash. Put some first trees. This would be like the earth terrain, I suppose. There we go. All right. Here we need a little bit different stuff going on. play to earn, probably mid-June. Free to play further down the line. Yeah, okay. Mid-June. That's quite soon. Is the game going to be on Steam? So, no. It will be browser. So everyone should be able to play. It will be in Unity, or it is in Unity. And the goal is for everyone to be able to play. So let's see here. Kind of willow trees. That's what you would associate with swamps, right? I'm trying to think how orcish civilization would be structured. I'm imagining kind of like teepees, but not like Native American teepees, but like Bedouin. Kind of, no, not quite. Oh, here we go. Like these kind of structures, you know what I mean? Yeah, like Mongolians. If we're doing some desert out here, we're gonna need some these. Also, we need more of those sand dune kind of stuff. Which doesn't make a lot of sense so close to the water. Kind of want to have a savanna kind of stuff coming in around the edge. Get a little green on these. Oh, this is the ocean. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna leave it. It's fine. I'm not too worried about that. So orcs are nomadic? Yeah. Basically, I think the idea behind them is that their structures are mostly kind of temporary stuff because they're not worried about, they're not setting up anything to live there permanently. They're basically setting up for war wherever they go. And then this broken down Colosseum is where they test their battle strength against each other, and it sort of determines their hierarchy going into the next war. So they would all gather to the Colosseum, and that's something that the elves are always watching for. They're like, oh fuck, the orcs are gathering again. There'd be a big like multi-day thing where they're all fighting, and whoever comes out the champion of the fights would be the war chief, and he determines where they go and attack and how they're going to fight. So not the greatest society to grow up in, I imagine. But if you know, I kind of, it's sort of like a cross between the Spartans and the Mongolians, if that makes sense. Orcs create weapons of war. Orcs are America. No, I'm just kidding. A little bit kidding. Not actually kidding, I guess. Where's the larger village sets? I need these, but I won't color them. Blah, 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 blah. Nope. I don't have all the symbol packs. I should probably get some more. Oh well. have sworn there was something. Giants. There be giants. Is this a dragon or a phoenix? That's a phoenix. There's a dragon. Is that the only dragon? Oh, I got a sea dragon. I want a sea dragon. Nope. Did I get him? I did not. There. Ah! There. Little secret dragon. Just checked some of the early gameplay of Soulcraft. Game looks legit for being a browser game. It is legit, and I'm advising on the game design. And I would I would choose not to advise. I would definitely not be creating lore for them if I didn't think that they were actually going to deliver a product. And I've played some of the newer builds, and yeah, there's definitely a game forming there. There's a long way to go, but they are committed to actually making a real game. So in terms of legitimate projects, this is one that I can earnestly recommend and do. I like these little savanna balls, what you would call them. Get more interesting trees up here. More tent structures. Sea dragons are cool in water. Yeah. Orcs created a sword by trying to destroy an iron bar. I like that. That's good. Alright. This over here is kind of annoying me a little bit. So I'm going to grass texture that in so there's at least a better transition between the two. There we go. Some trees. Transition area. What would an orcish navy look like in this game? I don't think they have canoes. But that's probably what it would look like. Canoes. Oh, that's what we need over here. Maybe the Fae have like their own little Stonehenge kind of thing going on. What do you think? That's kind of cool. This is the most structured the Fae ever got. Put some stones around stuff as decorations. A Karakoa? I don't know what that is. They made iron by smashing iron plates with their butt cheeks. You making orcish porn? What are you talking about? Oh, look at that. Let's see. Wasn't there a first war? Let me look at the timeline real quick. Orcs start the first war. A cycle of building and destruction begins. Yeah, this was only 3,000 years ago. So there's probably some ruins from that first war. Probably right here. Maybe there was even like a bridge going into the mountains. It got wrecked. Need a different destroyed structure. Maybe like a broken mine. Where's the colored version? There it is. It doesn't make sense unless this is on a thing. Sorry, what was I doing? Oh, right. I need the edge. Here we go. Now I gotta get it to go all the way around. That's annoying. I want to go all the way? I do. I do want to go all the way. There we go. Now it makes sense to me. Because if I just had this, it's like the orcs destroyed some fortresses here and the stuff leading into the mine, so the bridge collapses here. The bridge originally goes all the way down, and we'll need some ruins of the bridge further, I think, to make it look correct. It would have to be down here. So let's move this around. So yeah, this whole thing got wrecked in the first war. Hey, Sunnysider. Sunnyside 1994. I can't, your name's dark blue on a dark blue background, so it's hard for me to read. This is because of Restream, not your fault though. I'd be super concerned that things become so expensive or get so much out of control so that the game becomes unplayable. No, absolutely not. No, I am definitely, so I am keenly aware of how development can quickly get out of control. And what we are planning right now is feasible, and I don't think it's going to get crazy. It's a hero defense game. The gameplay is it's moving along. It's getting close to something fun. I'm not worried. My biggest concern is simply all the stuff that gets promised with these in these parcels and things like that. Like all that stuff has to be incorporated into the game, but that's a design problem, not a and there's not that much functionality associated with it, so I'm not too worried about it. But it is something that I'm trying to sort of go push back a little bit and go, maybe don't promise quite so much, because everything you promise, if you don't deliver on, people are gonna get mad. They're gonna get mad. So this is like a higher terrain, hence those types of trees, and down here is the sort of savant and willow kind of swampland kind of trees. I'll put some in here. Like it's been reclaimed. It's been 3,000 years. There's gonna be trees everywhere on them. Let's put some grass textures in just to break up some of this land. It's interesting how the grass textures can sometimes look really cool and break stuff up, and then sometimes look like total shit. Someone just drew some pencil marks and shit. So the dwarves are going to want to keep an eye on things. So they might have a little outcrop village here, come out from here and set up camps. And a little fort. Little fort town. Where are the little wild pigs? Pigs roam free. What do you mean? Play to earn for those who want to buy NFTs and free to play for people who just want to play. Yeah. Oh, you're just telling him. Okay, okay. Good. Let's see. What else do we got? So dwarven houses are mostly inside the mountains, is what I'm sort of implying here. Where are we at? Let's take a look at the grand picture. We're getting somewhere. Let's do a spooky area. Where would I put it? Something cold, dark. No, we got volcano land here. Maybe down here? Must be a good place. I like the stark contrast of the white on black. Let's do something undeady here. Oh, you want to do the swamp? I've kind of implied that this is swamp, but I don't think I did textures for that. Let me look here. I've got wetland. I mean, that's what this is, but it would need a lake. We'll have to create some water inlets. Let's do a river. Let's do some water stuff. Make a river. Coming from here. And a little lake. Roughness is too much. What the F? You are way off. Ugh. Hate it. Hate it. Okay, that works, but I have to move around shit. That is not a selection tool for the symbols. There we go. I don't hate it. Okay. Murky Mire, Nasty Bog. Yeah, yeah. Swamp. Past Warland that is haunted. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This could be haunted, but I don't want it so much on the main path here. Because I think they would eliminate, like if there were undead, they would eliminate them. But if like something happened over here, and it's kind of like turf that they don't go to anymore, kind of isolated and away from the kingdoms. I've never seen Wonder Draft before. Is it stock or have you added a bunch of custom assets? No, this is all stock. This is something you could do if you bought it like tomorrow and download it. Like you could do this right now. I have not added anything special. Okay, wait. I added a couple symbols. That's these things. So I've added some asset packs to help with some creation stuff. But other than that, it's like you get 90% of this stuff anyways. I highly recommend it as a tool. I have no connection to them. I don't make any money off if you go buy it. But it's just a really cool tool. I've used it for a number of things for lore creation, and it's been very useful. I actually learned about it from a Chinese company. Or someone who was working with a Chinese company. Let's think here. What if in that first war the elves sort of created a region and like dumped all the bodies everywhere? They're like, I don't want this anywhere near the Elven Kingdom. Fuck this shit. You guys can deal with this if there's something happens. And they built a wall. I mean a fence to contain the undead. Maybe this is where people go to worship the god of death. Well, if it's so cold and desolate, I think I'd have to move it further in. Or I could have it be unnaturally cold, and we could have the coldness come out. Like so. And I think it would make sense that this be elevated in some fashion. So it's like cold, isolated, and in the mountains. Does that make sense? Work with me here. I want those edge textures, but I want them uncolored so that they'll take the color of the land. I'm not sure that they exist though. It doesn't look like it. Fuck. We'll say the elves had a tower here, but it got destroyed. Oh, it's got green on it. I hate that. Why do they do that? Use one of these. Let's give them a path out. And then we'll give them a double wall. Actually, maybe this one's a defended wall. And we'll have like a one of the towers on the outside. And maybe this is like the one thing that all the races sort of agree on, like they can't let the undead out. So they're all represented here. We've got the elves watching. We've got a dwarven fort attached. And then the orcs send warrior patrols out here periodically to make sure nothing's happening. Let's get some tents. This is like the one area of agreement they all have. Like, fuck that shit. We are not letting these guys get out of there. You know, like a war tent over here. All of them watching. No, definitely not a monastery of the elves. This would be like it'd have to be some sort of unnatural event. But I don't want to go too far into it just because I don't want to accidentally add another race right now and get people hyped up on something that isn't necessarily going to be in the game. We've already sort of determined the primary four. This will be like in the expansion, the undead come into play. Where's that river? Oh, we need a bridge. And I have one. Let's use this one. Okay. Back to undeady shit. Let's see. That boop is the save, by the way. Skeletons. Need a main thing. Some sort of mansion. An expansion for NFT game. Well, that sounds ambitious. I mean, we're gonna release the primary game, and if it does well, of course we're gonna do an expansion. In essence, the NFTs are just funding the development of it, and doing very well. So, ugh, I hate. There's no. Just goes off into the water. It's so fucking lame. All right, whatever. No, it's just they fucking cemented this shit in. They don't want anyone getting out of here. Gotta have a gallows. Maybe it's at the entrance where they were hanging people for war crimes, and then just throw the bodies inside. Oh, it doesn't flip 180. Shucks. Oh, that's kind of neat. Needs something else around here. Maybe a little bit more mountain stuff. The Deathlands. Oh, why does? Oh, because it's not white. Nope, that doesn't work at all. 1 second. Well, I think maybe this is a good time to stop. We've been going, what, 2 hours? And I've been handed a baby. What? I'll get back to this. I think I'll have to not do it live, but maybe I can do more tomorrow. We'll see. But I hope you enjoyed it. Let's zoom out a little bit so you can see what's going on. Whoa. Let's full screen it. So yeah, just to... You okay? Hold on, we're almost done. We've got the volcano regions over here. We've got mostly forests. We've got... Most of the sand ended up over here on the west coast, and there's no races over there, so I might need to rethink that and rework that. We've got the major forest here with the Fae, Elven, Dwarven in the mountains, volcano region with the orcs sort of being in these small plains over here. So yeah, that's Wonder Draft. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna take care of the baby now. Wife couldn't take it anymore, and the kids were not helping anymore. So, cheers, everyone, and yeah, if you have any questions or comments, the Discord link is in the description of this video, which after I stop the stream will pop up as a video. You're like, what the hell is Daddy doing? What is this crap? And you can join us on Discord and see what the project's all about, talk to people who are involved in the project, or you can talk to me there and send me some ideas if you wanted to have something added or see me do more map creation stuff in the future, and let us know what you think.